Yeah, you are not me, Ray. We're different, brother.
I am you, dude.
No, you quite literally are not.
No, Andrew. And oh man, I wish I could have this conversation. I need to.
Hey, Andrew.
I of course quite.
Go fuck yourself.
You too, Tay. Good to have you.
I'm joking.
Hey,
Love you,
Tay. The thing is, you're gay, and that's why you say things like "go fuck yourself" to Andrew, because you want to screw him all day.
Ray, shut the fuck up. Are you rapping or what?
Yeah, that was rap. Yeah. My bad. Andrew,
Ray,
when you say you're not,
brother.
Does God exist? Short answer,
Hold on,
yes.
Tay, hold on real quick. Ray, when you're done fornicating and doing whatever you're gonna do, can you come back?
Hello, Andrew.
I can. Okay, I should for like 10, 15 minutes, but then I need to sleep for work. But Andrew, when you say you are not me.
Yeah, I'm not you. There's a division between you and I. That's why you don't share my thoughts. There's identification.
Okay, so you want to abstract that level. Let's abstract at a different level. Are you made up of nitrogen, carbon, oxygen? Okay, you are. Okay, so let's take the summation of those particles. Are the summation of those particles different than the summation of the particles like right next to you? Like, is the oxygen in your body a fundamentally different thing than the oxygen in the air right next to you?
No, that's fine. I mean,
it's not. So then you and I are the same thing.
No, I don't agree with that, brother, because the problem is you don't believe in any immaterial existence. You don't think there's anything immaterial. And I don't think consciousness and qualia or phenomenology, all this whatever. I don't think that first person experience, I don't think you can, that just is the equivalent of physical matter. And I don't think it just emerges when it's put in a certain,
because Andrew, that is what you have to believe.
No, it's not even that. No, brother. It is so extremely counterintuitive. I think you would have to be really stretching yourself to try to make sense of the fact that you have consciousness from physical matter arranged in a certain pattern.
So digestion happens, and that's physical.
Digestion is just a process.
And anything cardiological happens, and that's
processes interact.
Anything in my central nervous system happens. Yeah. Well, I guess the brain includes the central nervous, but anything in my respiratory system happens, and that is it. But once we talk about the central nervous system and we talk about the functions of the brain, that's non-physical.
Intentionality and thoughts and planning and memory, all of that, and in your experience of it, and you're able to.
Andrew, you realize that's no different than saying the roots, they're physical. The bark, it's physical.
The
water in the tree.
Yeah, we agree that's physical. That's why you can say that to me.
The leaves, the thing on the top, the thing that I really like to look at, that's not physical. Like, bro,
what are you talking about? The thing on the top? No, that's not like that.
But look at the quality of the green.
No, to say
look at the shape of the leaf. Dude, you're just calling out random things in the brain.
You think that the consciousness is an emergent property of physical property? You think it's physical? It's all just physical. Everything is physical.
Yes, Andrew. But you know what I actually believe? I believe that it's so related, and I actually think, Andrew, that Christianity is going to go away for this reason. It's so. I'm not kidding. It's so fundamentally related, specifically consciousness and Homo sapiens, and probably consciousness in other animals like smart animals.
It is going to go away.
It's so related to quantum physics, and we have not updated any language, the English language, to talk about quantum physics. We don't understand how to talk about quantum physics, and when we do eventually update and augment our language, then we will understand how consciousness arose. And it's not going to be like a simple it's just a product of physical systems. It's more complex than that. We're going to develop more complex language to talk about it, and then you won't need to have any musings about Christianity.
You're not going to hear about none of this confusion and all of this fiction.
Well, Rich, coming from what are you?
You're not gonna. It's gonna be. Give me a second, Andrew. Why do you have to cut me off when I'm speaking, brother? Give me a second.
Well,
you don't have to cut me off when I'm speaking. Show love. I don't know why you're laughing.
Shalom, because you're a pantheist.
I said show love. I said show love.
Oh, shalom and show love.
I didn't say shalom. I said show love.
You should say shalom.
No, I shouldn't have.
Yeah, you should. It's just peace. No, you should say it, is what I'm saying. It's
what?
Good. Because it's peace.
Nah.
I mean, I know you may not want
But like I said before, everything I said is coming. Andrew, when I kept telling you when is this gonna end, is it gonna come to one common ground? You don't feel it in the air. This is all over Christianity, confusion, Muslim.
You're no
God
longer
didn't design this. God, why would a God, like tell me now, why would a God create a world when there's division, confusion, friction? That sounds like man to me. Why would God want you to fear him instead of love him? Andrew, make that
Why
make
would God want
sense.
to fear him instead of love him?
Yes, does God sound like light? Or does he sound like darkness?
Yeah,
Darkness to me sounds like the devil, Andrew. That's
Well, you're
negativity.
saying a lot of things. You're
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Let's see what you have to say.
what they call a gish gallop. So look, saying fear him. I mean, fear isn't the way we're talking like cower or be afraid of. That's not. I mean, you should definitely respect and revere who God is. That's true. It is not like some kind of fear where you're cowering in the corner.
Is that my N-word Jigsaw?
Well, I mean, that's one way to put it. Yes, it is. But here's the thing, John. He's actually shifted from I'm the observer. I don't have a position. Now I'm a pantheist, and Christianity's going to go away.
I don't know what you mean, a pantheist. I'm consciousness, self-aware. I'm consciousness. I'm self-aware, brother. That's all I am. Christ consciousness. You have an ego to keep cutting me off. That is your ego. You have to let go over your ego. You keep trying to cut me off. Let me finish. Your ego is speaking. Your emotion.
Don't be dishonest. You said
your emotion is speaking. I can feel it in your heart. Why do you keep cutting me off?
Victor, are you a pantheist? Yes or no?
You're getting angry.
You're getting mad. Are you a
No,
pantheist?
I just told you what I am. I'm consciousness.
You said this in the other room. Hold on. You said it in the other room.
What do you keep telling me? Hold on, and I just told you what I was.
So that was created 22 children funded back. Taxes. You finally don't give the bill. Relationship. I borrowed study protection. Defunded 20 billion
I don't want to
immediately.
speak to you because you're speaking out here.
All right, that's fine. So when you're ready to be honest, we can engage.
I'm being honest.
No, you're not. You claimed that you were a pantheist or a pantheist. Now you're denying.
I just told you what I am. Why are you speaking about something else? You obviously saying somebody can't change from what they was before to something now?
Yeah, I'm big on.
It's a yes or no question. Are you obviously saying somebody can't change from what they was from before to now?
Rich, it's been like 1 week. I'm sorry.
It's a yes or no question.
It's been 1 week. Yeah, people can change, but not 1 week.
So thank you. So obviously you have to accept what I am. Unconditional love, peace, and harmony. Are you getting angry, Andrew, because you think I'm lying?
Based on your
Are you getting angry?
Based on your
You're speaking through your ego.
You're more likely disingenuous than
Now I'm being disingenuous because I'm being honest.
Can't somebody change their view? You just claimed you're a pantheist. Now you're saying, I'm not that. I mean, if you do it within the measure of 1 week, I think you're probably disingenuous. Given your background, you're probably disingenuous. So that's where I'm at. Sorry, bud.
Oh, you moved him down, Andrew?
I didn't move him down. But I think
that's not right.
I didn't. That's the sniper of all snipers.
Bro, he was cooking you. I haven't seen you get cooked. You got sauteed, grilled.
There's no cooking at all. I just pointed out that he's a liar. That should mean something.
So, I mean, obviously the Western analytical term, Andrew, is that he's effectively a physicalist, and he says if the universe is just all matter, then the universe is talking about itself in the form of humans like today.
Well, look, yeah. I mean, I think pantheism is garbage. Let's be clear, Ray. But
that's not really pantheism.
No. I know, but no. Listen, he claimed to be a pantheist. Maybe he just doesn't know what terms are, and he's learned since then. And that's why he's changing it. But he needs to be transparent about it. He shouldn't.
I mean, he obviously had.
What's that?
Was a total agnostic physical.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Congressman John Kitover.
Well, no, and he also said Christianity is going to go away, and how could God exist if all the bad stuff happened? So I don't think it's just that. I think he is actually slanted towards atheism. When I first met him, he was taking shots at the Bible. So I don't. He's either anti-Christian and maybe atheistic towards Christianity, or just broadly. It's kind of hard to really say because he doesn't really allow his views to be scrutinized too heavily. And then when you ask him questions, he'll be like, I don't answer subjective questions. Really weird response, but he says that a lot. So that being said, we can let all that be. But Ray, you don't agree that there is a division between us?
Andrew, your inability to understand this point I've made to
No,
you.
I understood the point. I understood the elements and the matter that makes up people and makes up our brains and makes up all of the things that we consume and our process of
Correct.
Taking on sustenance and excreting, etc. I get all of the similarities. I'm talking about the market differences. That's what I'm talking about.
So Andrew, if I buy a new, which I will be doing soon, if I buy a new Ferrari 458 Spider from the dealership, and as I'm driving it out of the dealership, I slightly scratch my car, and one atom of the paint falls off. Is that atom on the ground a different car than my car? Is it a car?
It's not even a car.
It's not a car.
No.
Okay, so it's one atom in your skin of your thumb right now that falls off of you. Is that Andrew?
It's part of. It is a piece of me. It's a piece
of you.
Yeah.
Is the atom Andrew?
Is the atom what?
Is the singular atom identical to Andrew?
No.
Is the summation of all the atoms identical to Andrew?
Well, I don't think it. That's why I don't think it's just physicals. No, I don't agree.
So the only way out of this is to say there's something else.
Well, first of all,
but you can't point at something.
Well, no. First of all, though, Ray, we could just take the collection of atoms, even if physically. I can say, look, my collection of atoms is different than your collection of atoms.
Yeah, well, then you run into some big problems, Andrew. Wait.
How's that a big problem?
Because what do you mean by different?
Just
located in a different part of space-time?
Hold on. Identity seems to be very basic, and I can't imagine you trying to challenge that. You look at something and you say, this is not this, right? This is not that. That is different than that. You look at, you can tell, you can distinguish. There's distinctions. There is distinctions. And for you to say that there is not distinctions, I think you're being very dishonest. You live as though there's distinctions. You operate every day as though there's distinctions. When you talk to me, you call me Andrew, not Converse. Why? Because we're distinct.
Right,
we're distinguished from one another.
Right, but what I'm trying to establish to you is that the level at which you distinguish is subjective and abstract. And we distinguish not because things are actually different, but because things are functionally different.
Well, I mean, says you. I'm saying just go along with it. What I don't understand, Ray, this is what I never understood. Why would somebody, unless they're extremely motivated, why would somebody experience difference, okay? Experience it. Experience free will, okay? I can make a choice between Pepsi and Coke. Experience morality. When I ponder about driving a car into a group of 20 people, just so I can get a better parking spot, okay? When I ponder that, it hits me as though, you know what? That I ought not do that. And if I think about somebody doing that, I'm like, if they did that, I don't think I want to be around that person because they sound like what they sound like what I might want to call a bad person. Now, hold on. I don't understand, since that is like a pretty ubiquitous experience for people, why on earth have you come to these conclusions that all of those things aren't actually the case? It's very strange.
No. Well, okay, this is a great question, Andrew. It's not that they aren't the case. It's just, as I always say, the language you use to describe it. So if you zoom out and you look at a Homo sapien tribe of what a part of what you are, you're just a part of a very large Homo sapien tribe, your state or your country or whatever. If you look at a Homo sapien tribe, you will notice that they have instinctual behavior, like avoiding the Homo sapiens that drive their car into 20 other Homo sapiens. That is an instinct of yours. Like, it's not something that got socialized into you. Some people argue that, and then that gets confusing and whatever. But let's just assume right now, for the sake of argument, that it is an instinct of yours to avoid those other Homo sapiens. The fact that you're doing that, the fact that other people, other Homo sapiens around you on average tend to do that, and then you have the weird outliers who actually want to drive their car into 20 people, but for the most part, you have people that avoid violence and don't commit violence themselves. All of that stuff is just in your DNA. So why wouldn't someone observing this Homo sapien tribe say, oh, that's all just monkey business? This is the same thing. Why would he distinguish, oh, look at how monkey A does X. Look at how monkey B does Y. You would have to have a functional reason to distinguish. When you look at an anthill and you look at the creation of an anthill by 1,000 ants, do you really spend the time, Andrew, to think about each ant and the role it's playing in building the anthill? Or do you kind of label the whole thing as a monolith and say, oh, this is a set of ants building an anthill? You are just a part of a set of Homo sapiens building a Homo sapien society. So it only sometimes makes sense to look at Andrew as an individual. But what you actually are is a part of a Homo sapien tribe.
Yeah, being part of a Homo sapien tribe doesn't negate anything I said. Look, you can be part of a group. We distinguish ourselves from monkeys. I'm not a monkey.
Okay, but
I'm not a monkey.
The brilliant part. Homo sapien tribe is just a part of the mammal tribe, and the mammal tribe is just a part of the animal kingdom tribe.
Yeah, that's yeah, sure. Yeah, so I can accept those labels.
If you zoom out entirely,
Sure.
it's the entire universe.
Yeah, but you aren't going to be able to smooth over the bumps of distinction. You aren't going to be able to. And the problem is that that's exactly what this whole endeavor is about. It's about, well, you're just an animal, and free will, and it's just an illusion. This is just everything, matter and motion. And distinction. I mean, we're really no different than a slug, and no different than the asphalt and the stars. In fact, we're made of stardust. I mean, it's just all just matter. And this idea that something feels wrong to you, it's just a preference. It's like, I want to eat this. Ooh, I want to eat that. Ooh, I don't like that because he hurt me. Ooh, ah. No, it's much deeper than that. There's a lot more going on there. And it's more than just this is not just some prudential conviction. There is a deep conviction that has more depth. There's more authority behind it. There's something that's like, no.
At what point in your life did you decide you didn't want to kill people?
There was never a decision. I've been built in with a beacon that the scripture speaks very clearly of, and it says that God wrote his law on our hearts. That means that we, for at least a lot of the moral laws, we already have this built-in beacon to say don't do it. But let me just say this. I have wanted to kill people, and my whole desire to do that was something that was being judged by a conviction that was not internal to me. It was not something that I didn't have authority over the conviction. The conviction had authority over me. It stood in judgment of me.
I will not sit here and be intellectually disrespected, Andrew.
You're a beautiful man, Ray.
You're more beautiful. Look at your jawline. You're more.
Well, it is pretty good, but you are pretty beautiful. And you better give me a picture of that spider, by the way, when you get it. Send me a picture. Will you send me a picture? Will you send me a picture?
Andrew, give me 1 second.
I just want to know, will you send me a picture of the spider when you drive it off the lot?
I can't afford a 4.58 spider.
I thought you were actually going to buy it. You're a wealthy man. Okay,
I'm a 27-year-old, Andrew.
Yeah, but you're a Jew, so I thought you had the money. But go ahead.
Okay, 1 second. Let me finish this set.
Yes, go ahead.
Can you mute me, please?
Oh, yes, I can. Be glad to. Ray, I've always wanted you to ask me that. You've been muted. MJ, are you there, sir?
Yo. Going on?
Have you met Uncle Ray?
Oh, yeah.
Uncle Ray says that...
Ray thinks I'm a Looney Tune.
He says that Yahweh... he says Yahweh was created... he says Yahweh and the Israelites were created by the Canaanites. How do you like that? That's his kill shot.
Yeah, so Andrew, how are you going to sit down with me, an Ivy League educated individual? I'm going to say something like you have instinctual behavior because of your genetics, and you're going to respond to me, no, I have core behaviors because of the beacon of Christ. You are overlaying Christian poetry on top of already established biology and evolutionary science. I do not want to hear that human behavior is not because of DNA and genetics. Don't tell me it's because of the beacon of Christ you are writing poetry.
I didn't say anything about writing poetry, but are you telling me that the whole field of moral philosophy is useless and it isn't striving to determine, hey, what the heck is going on here? Because obviously
the
there's
moral philosophy for the whales, for the crows, for the orangutans, for the baboons. I know, Andrew. Finally, because you're laughing, you're starting. I love you because you're laughing.
I love you, brother. What do you mean the moral philosophy of the whales? You mean moral philosophy that the whales engage in, or moral philosophy we do about the whales?
Because they engage in.
Who knows if they have any kind of perception of morality?
They don't do it. Because
how do you and you know this how? And you know this how?
Well, they don't do it in the same way that Homo sapiens.
Okay. Well, I mean, I probably grant that, but I mean, you're not in the mind of a whale. Okay, so I don't think you know what's going on. But we can try to infer things based on things we can observe and try to test things and do this, that, and the other. But a lot.
Andrew, do you know to retract your hand from a fire because God encoded that in humans, or because it's a part of the Homo sapiens?
I mean, I think God made us such that God made us such that we know to do that if we want to preserve. If our bodies are made and our minds are geared towards God and geared towards having a relationship with Him, things that are preserving of self is probably good for God to build into us. It's not good if we didn't care about living and surviving and reproducing. If we had no instinctual desire to do that, then I think it would be kind of a crapshoot as to what happens if he just creates these beings that don't have those drives and don't have this like control mechanism or these rails to prevent you from just destroying yourself or being just self-destructive, just as much as you might be propagating. If those were like equal drives, that would be a huge problem as far as, achieving an end of having a relationship with beings he wants to freely choose to love him. So yeah, I do think God embedded that into us. So I don't agree with the way you're like characterizing. You're a hyper physicalist, Ray. I mean, you are like hardcore. Everything is physical. There's like nothing. There is no immaterial existence at all.
But dude, it's like, I'm sorry, it's not even a debate, man. Like, because I can literally just repeatedly show you my worldview is correct. We can gene edit a child and give him a very horrible congenital disorder, and he will always die. And then you can't say, oh, God made this child.
He will always die. How can you make that question?
Dude, you can give a kid.
How can you make that claim without? Hold on. Sorry. How can you make that claim without?
Because
how do you know?
Clinical studies showing the death rate of like a congenital heart, there's specific congenital heart.
You would just say historically it's been the case, and even then you wouldn't know that, Okay,
so Andrew, if you had a kid, like it's a morbid situation, but if you had a kid where a hospital had said, oh, last time we observed the heart looked like this and be put like that, there's a thing that can happen in the atrium valve. Last time we saw this genetic disorder that affects the atrium valve. In 980 kids, we saw 970 of them die. Would you believe that your kid is going to be one of the 10?
It'd be hard. It would be hard.
Correct. So if human society goes off of these probabilities, and let's say we continue to, as China is, because they're the bravest nation in the world, as we continue to understand gene editing technology, what happens to our narrative of God wanted this to happen to this baby when we can control the outcomes? Doesn't it heavily suggest that what's happening is because of genetics?
Because you're trying to say just because we can alter the outcomes of things that God didn't anticipate that and plan for it. I mean, that's just crazy.
So now,
well, you would just
but Andrew, you see what we're doing with language.
No, I see what you're doing. I see what no. I didn't do just some ad hoc rescue there. That's what Christians have believed historically. God knows all things, my friend. God knows all things. If
humans are deciding if the baby dies or not, but then you're saying no.
Look. Hold on. Yeah, Ray, let me just demonstrate that to you. When two humans decide to procreate, right? Okay, and hopefully they do it the right way, right? Some biblical standard. If they do it though, whether they do it within God's system or not, if they choose to do that, a baby is born, right? If they get pregnant and have the baby, right? Okay, well, do you think God didn't know that was going to happen from our perspective? Of course we believe God knows that's going to happen. Jesus was prophesied Obviously, there's all kinds of stuff that is God working with human decisions. He knew that Mary would agree to bear the child, the Christ child. So obviously, there's all kinds of free will that is used
Andrew,
by God.
There's a social contract around language that you're not following. Sometimes it bothers me. I'm in a good mood tonight, so it's not bothering me. if we say something like, oh, I have a baseball and I'm going to drop it onto the ground. We're speaking in English. We're going to say something like, oh, the baseball is going to fall to the ground at the speed of gravity on planet Earth, and it's going to go through the air resistance that normal oxygen on Earth and whatever else the air and nitrogen is made out of, and the ball is going to hit the ground. If someone then wants to include, oh, and God makes sure it hits the ground, or God originally plans for it to hit the ground, most people agree you don't need to say that. That's not a part of the knowledge we have about dropping a baseball onto the ground. You don't need to include God in that narrative.
Wow. You may not need to say that. Hold on, Rich, real quick. See, most people may not need to say that, Ray, but most people believe in God. And if you took away God, you wouldn't have the matter to even look at to do that. I didn't say that you need a God to talk about it. I'm saying it's implicit in their God belief that God is the foundation of all of these things. So it wouldn't be the case that you could even talk about this observation without God. So whether they claim it or not, it's built into their understanding. So when you say most people don't have the desire or don't even see the need to say, well, God's the one that made gravity operate as it does. No, it's just implicit. They don't need to say that. So, of course, if God is a necessary being, which we believe he is, then it is the case that he exists in this world and, in fact, in all possible worlds. And he would be the foundation of these things even being possible. You wouldn't be able to make that observation of your gravity without God.
Where does it say?
Ray.
Where does it say that?
Where does it say what? That God is the ground of all things?
Where does
it says that God is
outside of you, outside of within you.
Yes.
And the scripture doesn't. And why are you so angry, bro?
The scripture. I'm not angry, bro. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I just want to make. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. But I'm not screaming, bro. If you want to see me scream, just go to Tom. If you want to see me scream, hold on, brother. If you want to see me scream, hold on. If you want to see me scream, go to YouTube and go to Tom Rabbit's channel. Okay, you'll see me screaming. No. But you keep saying I'm screaming, and I just want you to get it right.
Telling me you're not tense?
Tense is different than screaming, and I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure. Hold on. I'm not even sure that I'm not even sure. No.
Can we have a conversation?
No.
Keep doing this.
We can have a yes or no. We can have a yes or no question. Hold on. You're interrupting my answers a lot, so it's just going to prolong it.
I'm not interrupting.
You're interrupting my answers. No, you are interrupting my answers. And so because you're interrupting my answers, it's going to prolong it. So here's the point.
Get your point off, please. Don't.
Hold on. You're cutting me off right now. The yes or no, I can answer that. But we're gonna do it sequentially. I'm trying to tell you that your claim of me screaming is not true, and I can show you a YouTube channel where I was screaming. Okay, this isn't me screaming. You're completely off. As far as me being tense, it's been a little bit of a up and down day. I'm mostly okay. I've enjoyed the conversation. I'm not upset. Not upset at Ray. Not upset at you. But you do need to quit doing this kind of rapid interjection every time I'm trying to respond to the stuff that you're saying. Let's have a sequential dialogue, not just jump around and say stuff.
Not your emotions.
I'm not on my emotions.
Yes, you are. You keep telling me about something that's not here.
No, that's not an emotion. So I don't know why you're saying it.
Just get to the conversation.
Wait, can you say something that's actually true?
It's the kingdom. It's okay. I understand why you feel like this.
No, but you got to say something's true, otherwise you're wasting time.
You're in separation.
Here's the thing. You got to say something that you actually think is true. Okay, cool. So you said, where does the Bible say that? The Bible teaches that God is the creator of all things other than himself. Okay? So he creates everything. So everything in existence is created by God. Well, you know I'm done. Why do you ask if I'm done when I'm still talking? Why would you do that?
You're not the only one that gets to speak. I am.
Why? No. Did you hear what I just? Why? Yeah. Technically, I could.
You're speaking.
No. Technically, I could be the only one that spoke if I wanted to be, but I'm not doing that. But you don't ask if I'm done while I'm still speaking. You're a disingenuous interlocutor. So don't do that. Nonetheless, go ahead, Rich. Say what it is. Oh, you're not even here anymore. Well, that's because you have a sniper taking care of you, taking care of business.
Who's doing that? Congress is legitimately just a racist, isn't it?
I mean, some might
Hey,
call
Ray, you called 3 people the N-word last week. I've never seen it.
Right. So, I mean, some people might call him racist, and some people might just call him reasonable. I go with the latter. So,
Andrew, I think I'm making actually a lot of progress with you tonight. So, when I agree, Andrew. Majority of people believe in God. It's actually complex. Read a lot of anthropological papers on it. What majority of people believe really is that like there's something out there, and then we live in the societies today that globally got influenced by Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. So people just overlay that on top of that. That's what's actually happening. Like, dude, if you go to any Christian in the United States, and
I do want to say something to that, Ray, but hold on. I have to. The store's getting ready to close. I have to say I don't. So I want MJ.
Andrew, may I speak to Ray?
What's up, Mr. Chris? Yes, you may speak to Ray.
Long time, buddy. I haven't seen you in a while.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Ray, just to be careful, Ray is a Jew, Chris, but go ahead.
That's what's up. So Ray, in reference to your what you were saying about the like heart disease thing. So I actually happen to have a son who, while his mother was pregnant, was involved in a horrific car accident, which separated her placenta and caused her to go into early labor. He was born 1 pound, 13 ounces. The doctor looked me right in my face and said, "Do not expect this child to live." He turns 19 in February. I never for a second thought that just because of statistics that, my child's not going to make it. I almost went to jail that night for trying to fight the doctor for him even saying that my child wasn't going to live. So I do believe that faith means a lot, because statistically, would you say, 980 out of 980 died? Well, mine was 981. My 981 lived, and now he's going to be 19. So you don't you shouldn't say things like that, because why is Chris a moron? And I would absolutely love to.
Sasha's one of these online incels. Don't listen to her.
Yeah, and then Ray, this isn't a point of contention to say you said anything wrong. This is strictly just something that happened in my life.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Chris, first of all, that's amazing. I'm extremely happy your son lived. Congrats. That's awesome. Do you believe it was because of God?
I don't believe that it wasn't because of God. I'll say this. All of the, what we would call professionals, said that there was no chance. And then there was. And now he's 19. Well, he'll be 19 in February. Now he's grown. And mine, like I said, when I say small, I'm talking about the palm of my, 1 pound. He was in the hospital for a year. So I don't believe that is anything but God. Because it damn sure wasn't the doctors, because the doctor told me to give up hope.
Yeah, Ray often tells people to give up hope.
And again, like I said, Ray, this is not to make contention with you or anything. It's just something that happened for me. It's just something that happened for me, and I did a lot of praying.
I hear you, Chris. I guess what would you say to the parents who were less lucky and lost their kids to the same thing?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't know what I would say.
Right.
I wouldn't say so the first thing that comes to my mind is people would be like, did God choose your kid over mine, type of thing. And I don't think that's
like what it is. Like there's, everyone like seeks to like argue or fight first rather than just be like, you know what, this is just what it is. You know what I mean? Like this is.
Do you see? Maybe then it would be like the most rational thing to do is not conclude that God saved your kid, but rather conclude that you don't know why your kid lived, and it's exceptionally amazing. And
Maybe
it's like
maybe. Right. But for me personally, being that I am somebody who's rooted in faith, I believe that because of the fact like I'm always with him. He's always with me, and I think that is what is very, very important, because sometimes and even this is even true for me at points in my life that I only wanted God like when it was convenient for me. Like when I was good, like I went to prison and I was like, oh my God, I'll never do this again. I'll never be like this. Like, and then like I didn't have any real intention of like changing. I just wanted to be out of the situation I was in, right? But I guess I used to like, I was like a part-time believer. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
When I became a full-time believer, it's like I'm not, God didn't make me rich or give me all these things or anything, like that. But I do have what I need. I have not been without. Since I've been a full believer, I've had everything that I've needed. It's, and people are like, oh, that's not true. And I used to say the same thing. I'm like, look, I used to tell people this too. Like, look, faith is not going to pay my bills. I tell people that, like, I cannot just go, like, believing in God and thinking that that's going to make my life okay. I used to tell people that. I don't know how, I don't even know how it happened. I got tired of doing things a certain way, and I put all my time in one direction. And since I've done that, things have been exponentially about my faith. That, to me, that says that's God.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I don't think you fully believe in like the specific Christian God. Like you're using like Christian language and God language.
I'm not a Christian, dude.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Sorry. Yeah, sorry, not a Christian. It's the language I use is just, that's the common language that we can understand what we're talking about.
Wait, Ray, were you about to spit a freestyle?
Dude, Converse, it must suck for you, and you have.
Weren't you just beatboxing, Ray?
You have way too much ego.
Wait, weren't you just beatboxing on mic, Ray?
With these God believers, wow, do you look like a fool, Converse?
Wait, were you just beatboxing on mic or not?
You look like a fool.
Yes or no?
Coming out of your mouth.
There we go.
I'm scoffing.
What's scalping? Is that Galvin? Not good.
I'm gonna do my set with the mic on. Chris, when you say God, what do you mean?
The Creator, the Most High, the one who created all, me, you, and everything else, who created every idea of any other God you can think of.
Why do you think there's a creator?
Why do I think there's a creator? Because I exist.
Same question.
Huh?
Same question. That doesn't answer my question.
Why do I think there's a creator?
Yeah.
Because I exist. Something made me, and it wasn't just my parents. And if we have to go through like something made my parents and their parents and their parents and their parents and their parents and all that bullshit, we can always go back. There is a beginning. So I believe in the beginning, there was something that our minds cannot even fathom. There's something that's outside of time and it's outside of space, and it made us. It made everything. And I don't believe it was when something hit nothing and blew up and made everything.
Well, it could absolutely be, and we'll never know. But
you're right, and that right there is the premise of faith. I believe that I believe that I have a purpose. I believe that something created me. And you can say, oh, well, God, or people could call it anything they want. I don't care if there was 1,000 different names for this one thing, but regardless, everything draws back to this one thing. And you can call it God, or you can call it Yahweh, or you can call it...
Isn't it crazy how we ended up in the exact same point as the last conversation? The other person exactly that. Kind of rich. It was Rich. Or
I don't know. I wasn't here. I wasn't here for
No. It was John. The John with the veteran John. He said this exactly. This kind of perennialism that you guys are discussing. But like, it's like people word it as it goes. Because when you say I believe something created, but I don't really know exactly what that thing looks like, and I don't know if it's Christian or Hindu or Confucian or whatever. You're just staying agnostic on the nature of God, and you're staying so agnostic on the nature of God that you might as well call yourself agnostic.
I mean, okay.
Because if I really explored your concept of creator, I would ask you, like, what do you mean by creator? And you mean like, okay, I learned this word creator as a human because I've seen humans create other things. I've seen animals create other things. I'm like, okay, you've seen humans and animals create what kind of things? And you can point, I'm in a gym right now. I see a Smith machine. I see a band. I see a floor. I see lights. These are all creations of humans. But then if I ask you, like, did the water create the cove? Like the cove that it eventually eroded from the ocean splashing into it 100,000 times. Did the water choose to create a cove? Then you're gonna like pause. And I don't know. Actually, does water create things, or does the cove just exist? And then you can apply that exact same logic to humanity.
So I get what you're saying. I think that everything was crashes 100,000 times. It's gonna make this cove. No, I think that things were made, and like there is also like things work like that. You know what I mean? Like that's the way things work. In nowadays world, we call it science and shit. I believe that my creator is the man. Like there's no one that knows more than that. Like it's not to say like, oh well, he made it in the beginning to say like, oh yeah, you know what? He made the world and he made us and he knows us and he's letting the world do what it does. Like that's it. God, like because there is a creator does not mean that like he is supposed to sit here and say, oh, let me make things better for you. No, that is your job. It is your job to make things better for yourself. And it's your job to not only make, like, it's not even you that makes things better for yourself. You have to seek him, and through him, he'll make things better for you. Whatever, I don't care. I've realized at a time that I've put all the focus on me doing things for me, and until I actually was able to give up this sense of control to be like, I can't fucking do this, until then, I was never able to get where I wanted to be.
Yep, exact same for me. Mentally, I'm not in control, so I will just accept the abstraction that my operating system is running at all times in my brain. I am Ray the rat. I am an Arab man, and thus I am a black man, and I have accepted all of these things, and I just live that way. You and I are living the same way.
Listen, like I said, listen, that's what I said. Like, you can make it, you know, I'm just telling you what worked for me. Maybe it doesn't work for you. I don't know.
So for me, I love it.
For me, this is what worked. I surrendered my control, to be like, you know what, I just need to, like, it's the most day shit ever, but just like let go of shit.
Absolutely.
And like not, and kind of just, we'll call it go with the flow. And ever since I've done that, and I've done it from a place of positivity and from a place of faith, it's been exponentially better for me because I've done those things before, but it wasn't from a place of faith or from positivity, or even necessarily, if that's the case, like letting go of control. Like always, even if it was subconscious, I was like, no, this, like, I'm going to do this. I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing. I'm going to make this happen. No. It's, and like I said, and I am not like a Bible thumper or none of that shit, but I only know what has worked for me. That
is raising your frequency.
Yeah, I only know what has worked for me. I don't.
Chris, I strongly believe someone that is sharing about his philosophy and sharing about like what he thinks about like his son, which I think is such an amazing coincidence and things like that. And you say, this is just my personal view. I don't require other human. I don't think necessarily that other humans. What I believe is relatively true. It's true for Chris. When you think something is just true for Chris, you're generally an agnostic.
Oh, well, I believe it to be true as a whole, but I also don't try to force those things on anyone else. Like, I give you my relative experience to say, like, this is why I think it's true. Like, no matter what I think doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because those are just, that's how I.
But Chris, why are you concluding objective truths off of your relative experience?
That's my life experience. Those are the things that I believe. Those are the things that throughout my life experience, the things that I've done, from the good and the bad, and the things that have happened, and from when I was kind of like separated from faith to when I finally came, like, I will call it like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And then into when I finally was like, I don't want to do it anymore. I want to go. This is the way I want to go. And I've watched my life change over and over and over the closer I've got to faith. So for me, that solidified the truth in it. And like I say again, I cannot like make you believe it. The only thing I can do is give my testimony. And I can just keep doing what I do because I have faith. And that's it. I'm not trying to convince you to have faith. But that's the thing. Is like, because I'm not Jesus. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying to bring you over or trying to make you, like, I'm not trying to do any of that. I'm just telling you that I don't know how more true anything can get than going through it. You know what I mean?
It's a good question. Because you could say, I have gone through seeing that water is wet. Is it true that water is wet? It's a hard question. I don't know. I have gone through this personal experience with God. Is it true that God exists? Also a hard question. If we compare the two questions, is water wet? Does God exist? Most of humanity seems to agree that it's easier to answer that water is wet is objectively true. So It seems like things like observation and empirical evidence can create objective truths, quote unquote, that are stronger than other objective truths.
No, and I don't have a point of contention with you because like the things that you're saying are relative. I also just believe like if you jump out of a plane, will you fall? For me, the answer is yes. And something relative to that same statement for me, this is, like I said, just for me, is that's how God exists for me. Is if I jump out of a plane, will I fall? That is how real God is for me.
By the way, MJ, I saw you. Did you want to say something, MJ, or?
No, I'm just listening.
I'm sorry.
And again, let me
something.
I'm not a Christian. I'm not Muslim. Like
twin probably triggered my mic or something. Stuffing my mouth with eggs.
Jesus rose from the dead.
Of course I do.
Okay, but you're not like because I heard Ray say you were like a perennialist or syncretist or something like that. You're not saying all religions are true or something like that, right? You're not doing that weirdness.
No, I don't believe all religions are true, but I believe a lot of them are pretty spot on. Not a lot of them, a few of them, I'll say. I don't believe in, like, I don't down talk other religions. Like, I don't bash Muslims, I don't bash Catholics, I don't bash any of them. And a lot of what I read out of the Quran, they recognize Jesus and the Virgin Mary and his resurrection and the fact that he was a divine, like, body. I don't believe in the Trinity personally. I do believe that Jesus was a prophet, not that he was God in the flesh. I believe that there is only one God, that he did not separate himself into pieces and all that. That's just my personal belief.
Yeah, but they don't believe. But by the way, welcome Connie and Rashad. Come up here, brother. I like the profile. MJ's gonna want to. Yeah, it's good to have you, Connie. Sorry for leaving you down in the group for so long there. I didn't realize that you had your hand up. Anybody else that wants to come up, put your hand up. I'll invite you up. I'll invite you up even if you don't put your hand up. How do you like that?
I just have a question for Chris, if that's okay.
Yeah, you certainly can. I just wanted to say this super quick, and you certainly can, Connie. Just, Chris, do you believe Jesus? You say you believe Jesus rose from the dead. You do know, and you're aware that obviously Islam, by and large, rejects the crucifixion, right? So he can't rise from the dead. He didn't if he wasn't crucified, which is a fatal flaw in Islam.
That would be something that I would have to look into, because to my personal knowledge, I thought that they recognized his death and being risen. So that
Wow,
so
that
really,
answers my question.
yeah, and this is why it's like, and to me, that's like the heart of Satan right there, Chris. And this is why Islam is a huge problem. Because what they're saying, so you ready? This is from the Quran, or both the verses, but it is Christ did not die, neither was he crucified. Is that right, MJ, or is it backwards? It's very explicit, and Muslims by and large will tell you that it was made to appear as though he died, but he didn't actually. And that God rescued him or something like that. And there was like a body double, or there's different ways that they kind of explain it. But they don't have Christ dying on the cross. And to die on the cross and resurrect is the central linchpin of
Breaking up.
So I would
obviously I mean,
Andrew, you're in the Matrix a bit. You're in the Matrix a lot.
Would you? Oh, sorry. I'll fix that. And, yeah, I was just going to say, having Islam coming some 600 years later and denying. Well, go ahead, Connie.
So basically, I was definitely wondering if he was a Christian. And I guess not, because he's stating that you're Islam.
I'm not a Muslim. I'm not a Christian, but I'm not a Muslim.
What do you consider yourself?
A follower of the Most High. I'm a child of God. I don't need to be a Christian.
So you're not an Israelite or anything of that nature?
I don't need to be a Christian. So for a while, I was, when I was still searching for certain things and trying to find, I guess we'd call it like my path, is for sake of whatever, I'll call it trying to find my path. I went to some Israelite places and did a number of things, and then I also don't believe that I need to call myself a Christian, and I also don't believe that I need to call myself a Catholic, and I also don't believe that I need to call myself anything except a follower of God.
Okay, but you definitely just said, in Jesus Christ. So
that's what?
I mean, if you're saying that you're a follower of God,
I'm a follower of God.
Christ isn't our God.
No.
Okay, maybe I'm confused.
No, I do not. So I don't believe that Jesus was God. I don't believe that he was God in the flesh. I don't believe that he, made himself into like this Trinity thing.
Do you pray to him?
No.
But you believe he died and rose from the dead, right?
I believe that he died and that he essentially, like people say, well, he died and was risen 3 days later. I don't. To me, it's like I don't feel like he ever died. He no.
Now,
but
okay, go ahead.
Did he die essentially, and did he die in the flesh then? Yes. But then what he rose and then he came back and preached for what, like 40 days or
yes, and then he ascended unto heaven. You're kind of confusing me. You're confusing me a little bit, Chris.
That's how we all die.
What'd you say, MJ?
That's how we all die.
What'd you say?
That's how we all die.
Yeah, we all. Well, what do you mean? That's how? What do you mean?
We're immortal.
Oh,
I'm not
right.
back.
You're not coming back, honey. Well, that's sad. Why is that?
Because for what? I've already did it. I mean, I'm gonna master this shit, and it's just I'm not coming back as a dumbass baby.
Well, wait, no. You wouldn't be a baby. That's not what's being said. So look, MJ's right. Like, I mean, none of us are really going to. I mean, despite how you feel about it, you actually are going to continue on. So the question is what state are you going to continue?
Consistent with never ceasing to exist.
A fucking star, something that just shines all day, because I'm not coming back to do any of this again.
What? Well, can she determine that, MJ? Can she make that choice?
Actually, I can, because I'm not going to walk into whatever fucking light that's going on there. I'm going to go my own way.
So I OD'd when I was 21, and I died. And
underdosing is so much better.
Yeah, it is. I would definitely go for underdosing rather than overdosing. But the only thing I can remember is nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean like I was conscious and just there was nothing. I didn't have a body. There was nothing. I never want to feel that again, ever. It was like
and you actually were able to consciously feel nothing.
There was nothing. I don't know. All I know is I didn't like it, and it's something that I never want to feel again, ever.
Well,
in life.
The you that came back to Earth didn't like it. How about the nothing? Did the nothing? Nothing?
I don't ever want to go back. I don't. Damn.
It just reminds me of Severance with that. Oh my god.
Damn that. I know that when I came back. So, and you can believe it, not believe it, whatever. I came out like from the sky, and I saw the city where I was at, and then the building where I was at, and then in my body, and I had tubes in my mouth, and I was like, "What the fuck?" and what's going on? And I knew where I was already. I was like, "Why the fuck am I here? And what's going on?" I knew where I was. For me, that's why I said that shit just happened. And
so you went from feeling nothing to then realizing where you were.
That somehow, I don't know why. I don't know why I lived. I do know that the place where I was not where I want to be. Like, I don't know what hell is.
That is an out-of-body experience.
I don't know.
That's what it would sound like.
I don't know. I don't know what hell is, or if you actually like literally go into fire. But for me, what I felt was disconnect. I don't ever want to feel that again. Like
maybe we're in hell.
It like absolute like nothing.
But Chris, what? There is also such a thing as when you die. You know, I don't know if I believe you immediately. If you're a Christian, you go immediately to heaven. But I think there's also like it's called similar thing. One time I was like in a big white box room. That's how I felt. and I had such a same kind of experience.
So you're in a white room, like psychiatric. What was going on?
No, nothing. Like, just yeah. Like there was indeed nothing.
It's like, what do you see when you close your eyes?
It's
like nothingness.
Nah, but it wasn't for me. It was a white. It was a white room.
Oh yeah, mine was just black and.
What's happening here?
I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, we went on a little tangent there. It was essentially it was to say like these are the reasons why I believe in God. For me, it's because
I think that is actually out of body experience, not death.
So you OD'd and then you grabbed God. I get it.
I didn't grab God. Experience, right, Chris? You had a near-death experience, you say?
And I got resuscitated. I didn't grab God.
How
the fuck could someone like me grab God?
I think
all I know.
What I'm saying is, you told us before previously that you weren't into like any religions or anything like that, and then
I said I'm not a Christian. I said I'm not a Christian and I'm not a Muslim. I do read the Bible.
You said your life transformed.
I do pray. I do all those things, but I do not need to subscribe to being a Christian to.
All right, cool beans. Nobody's even asking you if you signed up to a religion. Okay. When did you decide that you wanted to believe in a God, and what happened to you? Was it the OD that you died? After that, did you believe?
I've always believed in God, but there was a time in my life where certain things happened to where I kind of like strayed away from that. And then until like my mid-20s, this is after the OD, where I finally was like put my focus back like fully into saying like, fuck, like, you know, this, like I saw where I went off, and then I saw like things that were helping me, you know, slowly but surely, because, you know, I've been in and out of church here and there, or doing this or this, and I went like full force, like back into this is what I want for my life. And that was on mid to late 20s, like 27. Yeah. And I go to all kinds of churches. I go to Catholic church. I go to Christian church. I've been to a couple Mormon churches. I go to a couple Israelite camps. I go anywhere that they preach the word of God. Because what I've learned is that the truth is that this thing is man written, and we do need to read between the lines. So I get it from everywhere. I get God from anywhere God wants to give himself to me. Honestly, I don't go like, oh, this is my church and this is the church I go to and I'm here and I'm faithful and I'm paying tithe. No, I be out in public, and if I see somebody preaching, if they're there and talking, that pulls me in. I go. If I see a church and it's open, I go. I just go. Anytime God calls me, I go. I just go. I don't have days. I don't. I don't know. I guess I'm different, but it works for me.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. So you don't believe in a creator then, Connie? No creator of the universe.
I definitely believe in a creator of the universe. I also believe that I'm a form of God myself.
You're God?
I do believe that I am a form of God myself, and there is a higher entity that is, of course, way stronger than myself.
Oh, I should worship Connie, Andrew. I think now I'm going to worship Connie, my goddess.
If that's how you choose, just like you choose to worship Jesus Christ. I mean, people choose to worship statues. You could choose to do what the fuck you want.
No, because they're gods, right? She's God, Andrew, right?
Well, she is saying there's a higher power than her. I mean, in some sense, like it makes sense of it. We're the spark, or we have a spark of God. We're made in His image. That's fine. I don't like this language of saying that we're God. I don't think that's good. But I can make sense of what you're saying in some sense, Connie. But here's the thing, though. Like, do you believe there is a self-aware being that created the universe? Do you believe that?
I mean, of course, somebody had to design this damn thing. I mean, it's too magical for it not to be created by something, you know?
Well, good. Then I think that's good. So then, do you want to go hang out with that being?
Do I want to hang out with the creator?
Yeah.
I mean, that would be some deep shit right there. You know? That's a lot of questions. Can I drink? I mean, I don't know.